Item number 10 on the agenda, discuss and possibly agree to place RV spaces in city-owned property. And Billy has something, and before you say anything, I do want to say one thing, Billy. I went to the Commissioners Court meeting today, and they were also discussing it, and they are thinking, this was thrown out, this idea was thrown out. Walter said he had talked with Mike, and maybe what they would do is let private citizens lease county property to put these in. Now, that having been said, go ahead.
It's not doing my deal for me. Well,
Twice.
I'll just give you the background on how this came about, and I presented this to the commissioners before B, and I don't want to repeat myself, but this stems from, we were approached by the American Junior Rodeo Association to place a bid on their finals, which is currently in San Angelo. And part of the bid package was that you had to have 80 to 100 RV spaces. Well, the bid was for 2011 and 2012. So I got with Mike Dooley, we looked at it, and he thought, well, by the time 2011 rolls around, the county can have some RV spaces, and this isn't a problem. Well, our bid was so good that the HRA came back to us and said, we would like to come in 2010. And according to the San Angelo Convention Visitors Bureau, this event has from $500,000 to $1.5 million economic impact each year on San Angelo. So we said, okay. So we started working on this to get the extra RV spaces. Dooley's first choice was to put it, part of them, on the water waste management plant property to keep the kids from having to cross the road, because that was a drawback when the HRA looked at our proposal. They didn't like crossing the road for these RV spaces. So regardless of how we do it, or who does it, or whether it's private or public or city or county, we just need to find a way to make this happen, because we're in a situation where in this day and time, to compete for these events, we have to have more RV spaces. It's a requirement. That's what they're looking for. And so we have a choice that we can bid on these events or not bid on these events. And, you know, we've got these hotels, they want as much business as they can, they want the bigger events, and with the bigger events come, you know, more RV spaces. And, you know, we've debated, most of the people that come to these events with these high dollar horses and these big fancy trailers, they want to stay right there. And, you know, they're either going to be in an RV space or they're going to be on the parking lot with their generators. So, you know, we're just looking to be as competitive as we can with that facility and with our community. And we're not competing so much against other RV parks within the community as much as we're trying to compete with other cities that are bidding on these same events.
And these RV spots will only be to attendees of events.
Only participant, only people that are entered in the event.
Okay. Anybody else that comes along, parents, grandparents, or what have you, they have an RV, they've got to be off-site.
Correct. And we've got a chance, you know, the HRA bid, it hinges on this. I mean, if we don't have them, then, you know, we're probably not going to be able to follow through on that bid. And we've got a major event right now we're trying to bring from Indiana that we're going to be in the exact same position. So if we're going to be competitive and grow our economy and maximize the Expo Center, it's a livestock facility. You know, it's not a convention facility, it's a livestock facility. And in this day and time, I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, and that's the market.
Who collects the rent on those spots? Are they part of the entry fee?
No, they pay a separate daily charge to the Expo Center.
To the Expo Center itself.
Mm-hmm.
See, my thing on that, and I think we probably need to see what the county is going to do before we really make that determination. I would think if the city allows them to do anything on city property, because I know Mike has said in the 4B meeting that it would take, you know, it could be numerous years to get that all paid back and everything. I would think any money collected, regardless if it were the ones that the county currently has or the ones that are being put in, would go to pay those off that are being put in
Right.
person. You know, I think that should be a real priority.
And Mike and I had a discussion, that's a possibility that if the 4B or whoever funds it, that maybe there's a 3-year payback or something, get it paid back a lot quicker. And, you know, my deal is, I don't care who pays for it, or where we put them, or how we make it happen, we just need to make it happen.
And if it weren't on the city property, if the county, because I know the city property adjoins it, but the county has that property right there beside it too, that would still be, as long as they are close enough, correct?
Right, and also the discussion was that if it was on the city properties with the understanding that if we ever had to expand the wastewater treatment plant, that had to be moved.
And I did say that today, Mr.
I think it'd be a good idea, you know, something we need to do. I mean, if you look at the cost, and granted it is $80,000, but if you look at the economic value that you get for that $80,000 to bring people and expenditures, what they spend in San Angelo on an average year, $1 million, $1.2 million.
Well, for San Angelo, they put the economic impact at $500,000 to $1.5 million. So actually, it's $750,000 to $1.5 million.
That's still a good expense ratio to income.
Well, and we'll have this event for 3 years, and if we can keep them happy, we can have it for a lot of years in the future. It's not, Sweetwater had it, I think, for like 30. And, you know, maybe what we need to do is get a couple of people from the county and a couple of people from the city and sit down and kind of hash this out, because so far I've talked to the county and the 4B, and now I'm talking to y'all, and we're still not real sure what we're gonna do.
Well, time's running. I mean, you know, it's one of those things that, while we're working out, you know, some way of getting payment back, whether we take the rent off of those spaces and just split it between us and the county to pay back our expenses to do it. Because the county's gonna do the dirt work, as I understand the dirt work and the electrical.
Right, and I did talk to Mike, and he said that, on the question you had as far as breaking ground, he said he thought by the 1st of May.